Turns 9 and 10 at Bahrain could be one of the trickiest braking points in the entire F1 calendar. I'm sure there's been countless times where we've all snatched the front left into a lockup and ran wide onto that horrible outside curb and lost a ton of lap time. But before we can discuss how not to do it, let's see the best way to tackle turns 9 and 10. So coming out of turn 8, we're pulling to the right of the track before jumping on the brakes at the apex of turn 9 before clipping turn 10's apex, being mindful of both entry and exit curbs for best traction and stability. Time to break it down in slow motion now. As we move to the right of the track, we use a lot of that outside curb to open up turn 9 as much as possible to straighten up that braking for turn 10. Braking at the apex of turn 9, about halfway down the curb, we're straightening the steering to maximize the braking potential before rolling off the brakes and meeting the apex. It's important to not hit that inside curb as it would unsettle the car and hurt your traction on exit. The same is to be said of the outside curb. Make sure we don't use too much of it to maintain grip as we head down the back straight. Being on the correct racing line is key here in order to maintain stability through the braking phase. Entering turn 9 too narrowly will push too much weight over to the right of the car, making it easy for the front left to lock up. Ideally, we would want to make the braking phase as straight as possible, almost neglecting turn 9 to maintain stability of the car for turn 10. The problems don't end there however, as running wide would place you onto that nasty exit curb which really hurts traction, and if you're battling another car here, a mistake like this will leave you really vulnerable going onto that DRS straight. So let's analyse this mistake using the Track Titan platform and see where our driver can improve. So here at turns 9 and 10, running wide with the lookup cost us almost 3.5 tenths. Let's start with the racing line then. Our driver does well to not get too close to the curb of turn 9, but still turns in too soon on the entry compared to our official reference lap, which makes the corner tighter and will hamper the stability of the car through the braking phase. Heading into the braking phase now, we can see our driver use 100% of the brakes momentarily, which is what causes the lockup. Our driver then quickly releases most of the brakes in order to correct the lockup, but the damage is already done as the lockup pushes the car past the apex and out wide. It goes to show how even the slightest of lockups can lose you a heap of lap time. This turn 9 and 10 combination will always be a tricky one, and going into turn 10 with smooth inputs on the brake and steering are the fundamental steps in keeping this section clean and fast, and with enough practice you can stay on top of this complex corner.